Hi, Chelsea here at Blue Door Wide Open. I did a video earlier, ab- about my Kundalini awakening. And then I did a short video, explaining about kind of how Kundalini awakenings happen and what this energy is that we hold inside of us. So like I said, I'm very intuitive. I wanted to do a video about what I felt prior to the Kundalini awakening, the spontaneous Kundalini awakening happening, because I definitely felt my energy shifting and I had gone through very specific phases. I felt like before it happened. And then once it happened, it took me a few months to even start talking to people to figure out what this was, that it had a name and that I wasn't crazy. So to find out a few months later, I had a couple people say, oh, it sounds like you had a Kundalini awakening, but I guess I kind of, I was kind of ignorant too at the time. I didn't understand this kind of energy that you could physically feel. So that was very alarming. But I still had read some Kundalini stuff, and it talks about what's going on in your body, but it doesn't tell you how your physical body, how you feel it kind of, and what that sensation is here in, like, our reality 3D. And like I said, this was the scariest time of my life, going through this period. My last 5 years have been, the first few years, like I said, when I could feel my sensitivities start to heighten before this happened, my fear meter was beyond, because I could tell my energy was shifting and I was becoming more sensitive, probably almost 4 to 5 years ago. So about 2 years, even, before COVID happened. I kept telling my husband, I'm just feeling more sensitive. Like, whenever I am just around people, I could feel intentions. I could feel their chaos in their head. It just would send me into this spin, of, I just got to this point where I would just have anxiety attacks all the time. I wasn't understanding the importance of grounding. Like I said, I was I'm in this, I took this flip into this energy world, 14 years ago. But I have kept myself very, in a bubble. So I didn't research or anything. And like I said, I didn't even know names of these things. It wasn't something, I did my own practices, kept to myself. So when I didn't know how to explain to somebody, I was feeling these shifts within me. So I went through this very long period of overwhelming sensitivity where I couldn't even go to the grocery store anymore. I don't even know how many times going through the grocery store, and I could tell I was feeling people's energy because I literally was bobbing and weaving through the grocery store. Like, whoa, that was just way too much. Like, and it would almost like not feel like it would knock me. Like I said, I could feel people's intentions. It was very overwhelming to me. And then COVID happened, and then we had to, there was just no way, when I had this heightened anxiety already, that I could wear a mask. I literally felt like I was already on the verge of a breakdown because my sensitivity was getting so heightened. And I kept telling my husband, I can feel this ramp up, like something's shifting, something's going to happen. So then I went through, like I said, I find a lot now about Kundalini and the phases afterwards. I felt very phase-like prior to. And some of the phases that they say that you go through after, once I started researching, I was like, whoa, that phase, like I kind of went through before. So it's everybody's personal experience. This energy is, and it's 11:11. I love it. This energy is so personal because it's your soul's energy. So when it wakes up, your story isn't like everybody else's story. So it is really hard, and everybody has different symptoms. Everybody has different experiences. It's so random, and it's not just like bam bam bam, this is how it happened. So phases can be mixed up and stuff too. So when I could tell that my sensitivities were and I was just knowing, I had more moments of knowing. I at this time, I think, started to see energy in a way that was kind of hard to explain. I could see colors. And then this is about when I started having visions with feelings and memories, and thoughts come with them. So that was different. And I kind of knew that, like I said, something was shifting. So I went through this period, of heightened sensitivity. And then my next phase was kind of a phase of self-doubt and trusting yourself. Every second of the day for literally 5-6 months, my intuition, my higher self, was telling me to trust myself. You know things, trust yourself. Quit thinking you don't know things. Quit thinking you're crazy. And I literally, that panic of knowing that I thought I knew who I was, and that I was actually becoming this person that I thought I had been my whole life, and just to trust myself. That was a hard process to get over, because you literally feel like you're crazy knowing things that you can't explain to people. It's not physical. You can't see it. So I cried for 6 months. And then that's at the time when I finally broke down to my husband, because he was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I need to talk to you. Something is happening. Something is telling me to trust myself. I know I have shared some things with you, but this is like every second of the day. I couldn't even function. So I think around that time is when I was, I found somebody who kind of calmed my fears, which I think was kind of a catalyst for, once I calmed my fears and my doubt of myself, it was like, boom. My vision started making clear sense to me. And I knew that they were telling me something. I knew that my visions were related. My meditations changed drastically. I've always meditated. I've always seen colors. I've always seen things when I've meditated, but then they started it. My first one was I was starting to be led to these cliffs, and I would get, farther and farther up these cliffs through progressions of different times of meditation. And when I got to the top of these cliffs, I was just taking in the beauty and everything, and I literally puked up and went through this purge of trauma that I didn't understand, because I've had some difficult things to deal with in my life that I really felt like I had done well in dealing with, my dad's death and a few other things that had happened when I was younger that, we get these things stuck and you have to release them. And I thought that I had, but I was going through another like release of trauma. Kind of almost like what they say about what I found was a phase that they call the dark night of the soul, which is when this energy, is either starts to rise in you or does wake up. It is here to heal and release. And so I kind of felt like that ramping up phase I had gone through too prior to. So that's why I'm saying these phases in what you read, sometimes it's not just like bam, bam, bam. It's kind of sporadic. They're all over. I know some people have had spontaneous Kundalini awakenings, and they are like, they had no idea it was coming. Not that I knew this was coming. I never believed something I could physically feel, like jump in me and show me a different world. And so that's what I felt so crazy about is, yeah, you can read a book, but connecting with people to tell you you're okay, that this phase that you're going through or what you're feeling is completely normal. Because like I said, everybody's experience is so different and so random. Some people, I started getting past life flashbacks at this time too, which was wild, how you get these visions and they come with these feelings that nobody can tell you. When I would have these visions, I knew I was looking at myself and I felt everything that he was feeling or she was feeling, because I saw a few of them before my Kundalini even awoke. So just if you do feel these things, maybe you have been sensitive before like me. I don't know. I really don't know if this is something that other people have experienced. So if you have, it would be nice, to connect and just see. Because like I said, once my Kundalini did awake that night, they talk about, you have these moments of bliss. I did have a few weeks of bliss, and then I went right back into what I believe was like another session of healing trauma, which was one of the last things that had happened to me later in my life, that I was another knowing that I had. But, I don't think a lot of people understand psychic guilt and how you know things and then you can't control them, you can't stop. Why do I know these things? So I started asking after that last one to, when I know things, please tell me what to do with this information, and that started becoming helpful with getting knowings and visions. So just know that you're not crazy, because that's what I've been looking for these last couple of years, is somebody just to let me know that they've been through this. And I felt super crazy for years, knowing that something was going to happen, but I couldn't explain it. And I just, when this happened and I finally calmed down and got out of the kind of like craziness, chaos, excitement, fear, and all of it of this process, I was just like, I have to connect with people, because I literally felt insane. And I went to my husband a couple of times and was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know how to live in these two worlds and try to still function in this reality and live a life with my kids and hold a job and, keep my head on. That was hard. And I'm like, people are running around probably feeling this stuff and they don't know what it is either. So that was like, I was like, I know how crazy I felt, and all I wanted was somebody to tell me, it's perfectly okay, because nobody understands, not nobody, but a lot of people don't understand this world. Sorry, I get emotional. It was a hard time. So, just don't be too hard on yourself like me, and reach out, man. There is people all over the world. I don't have a lot of people locally with me that I connect with, but there are people that have, experienced these things in different ways, and they can, you can connect with them. They might tell you something you might not understand now, and then you start going through this and you're like, this is what they were talking about, oh, these sensations that I'm feeling in my body, like when I was talking about after the Kundalini wakes up, and feeling it wake up again in you repeatedly, and you feel it working in your body. And sometimes she'll allow you to get glimpses of her, and you can see this energy working inside you. And like I said, these visions come with feelings and thoughts and whatever, and it's always been beautiful. It's always been healing. And if you sit back and just try to get in touch with yourself a little more, you will feel this process that she is working in you. You will feel it, and you will know exactly what she's doing. Like I said, I was going through this phase of eating where, my spirit guide was with me through this time, my chief. And I believe that he was there for like a comfort in Kundalini, and him and we were working together, and I trusted the process. I know, like I said, it was hard for a lot of people close to me to understand what I was going through, because they just saw this rapid physical change, but I could feel her inside me burning up and purging out everything I didn't need. I knew to trust myself. I've always trusted myself my whole life, and my intuition and what I felt my soul pull. So I knew to trust this, and going through this food and relearning how to feed my body almost intuitively what it needs. And to, like I said, I get these crazy visions. I would eat something and I would get a vision, and I would start seeing my cells do, I don't know cells and all that stuff. I would start seeing them just multiply and spreading, and they looked happy. And so I would know that, this food, which, I eat very healthy anyways, but through this time, it was like just a lot of raw vegetables. I would eat heads of cauliflower for dinner, and, bags of carrots, stuff like that. I wasn't, nuts, cranberries. My food was very limited, almost like it took me back to the basics, and purged and burned out everything in me. And, at this time, I think it was doing some of the healing work that I still feel it doing in me, because I felt it wake up, like I was saying, in my chakras. I felt it working in my heart a lot. I would have sensations of it start to spin in my heart chakra. My third eye chakra would start spinning. Then my eyes would start vibrating. So my vision would go crazy. For the last couple months, it's been working in my root and sacral chakra. So I just, at random times, start getting this spinning feeling, and I can feel her working in me. And sometimes I get visions, like I said, of her. I'll see this energy, and sometimes when I have this vision, it comes with information, in a way, or she tells me to do something, start moving, and my body will just, and I intuitively just start moving, and I'll see this energy working, and then once she's done, my body will just stop, and I'm done. And I know it sounds wild, but like I said, this energy is beautiful, and she is healing, and working with it in the process intuitively and trusting yourself it's amazing. Like that's part of the reason why I want to share and make people less, because you can fight this energy, and it just makes it worse. Like I said, I got to a point I just had to surrender, because I couldn't fight what I felt coming. I was fighting it, and it was making me miserable. I cried for, I swear, almost years, it feels like, in fear. And, once I surrendered, it did become this beautiful thing that I understood in a different way, because it was something I couldn't wrap my mind around before. So just know these phases that you feel like you're going through, they probably are real, and completely normal. Like I said, everything's so sporadic too, of like what my research is. It was like, oh, I felt like I went through that before, I wonder if somebody else did too. So, just, let me know if this resonates, or if you felt these, ramping ups and stuff before, because Like I said, I mean, had some little abilities and am very intuitive prior to, but this is just, you know, something new to have this teaching, healing energy come and literally change my life. And I feel like heal my body, my mind, and align with my soul has just been a beautiful process. So I don't want people to be scared shitless like I was. So I hope this resonates. Let me know, you know, like I said, if you had any of this stuff, you know, drop a comment below. I'd love to know. Thanks, guys.